Welcome back, students. I hope you are doing well. We are having a lesson here in Form 1, Business Studies, and we have been in this topic, entrepreneurship. And I know up to now we understand what entrepreneurship is, understanding what entrepreneur is, the roles, the importance in the country, and even the characteristics of a good entrepreneur as far as business is concerned. So today I just want us to look at certain part of which is subtopic in this same topic, that is entrepreneurial culture. We are going to talk about factors affecting entrepreneurial culture in the country. And when we talk about affecting, we are going to talk about affecting entrepreneurial culture in terms of negative, affecting them negatively or affecting them positively. So that is the area we are going to talk about here, and I welcome you. I am Mr. Mboya as usual. So let's look at these factors that affect the entrepreneurial activity in the country, and we understand what entrepreneur is. And we talked about the importance of entrepreneur in the country. Let's look at factors that affect this. So as usual, we always visit the lesson objectives, looking at the scope, looking at the areas that you're supposed to cover, and defining the business plan that we did previously, then also stating some of the contents, we did that. Then we want to conclude by talking about the factors that influence the entrepreneurial skill in the country. This is what was remaining in the previous lesson. So let's discuss them today. Let's talk about them. So you can see in the screen that factors that affect entrepreneurial practice. And basically we are going to talk about Kenya, our country. And there are factors which influence the performance of the entrepreneurs. And these factors are discussed below. So when we talk about entrepreneurial practice, these are factors affecting entrepreneurial practice or their quest to deliver in their businesses. So one of the factors that affect entrepreneurial practice in the country. I don't want to proceed very fast. If you have any problem, please, in understanding this, please ask question. Use the forum. So we are just talking about those factors that affect the entrepreneurial activity in the country. And the first one is government policy. How can government policy affect the entrepreneurial practices in the country? This is how it will affect it. There are also some in the screen, but also it's good for me to explain for you. When the government come up with some rules that make the entrepreneurs to pay a lot of tax, then the entrepreneur will be discouraged to what? To continue with their business. But if the government reduces the tax, or they introduce a rule that reducing the tax, then entrepreneurs will be encouraged to what? To do their business. And that is how entrepreneurial culture practices can be affected or can be affected by the government policy. And in addition, you can see on the screen, some of the government policy may be favorable to the operations while others are unfavorable. So these factors, we're going to talk about how they affect the entrepreneurial activity in the country negatively or positively. Sometimes in an exam, you can be asked to talk about how they affect them positively, which means that we'll be concentrating on only one part. When government introduces a policy that encourages the entrepreneurs to continue doing business by reducing the tax. So if they talk about positive, talk about it positively. If we talk about negative, talk about it negatively. But in this lesson, we are going to talk about both of them. You understand? So favorable government policies, e.g. decrease in what? In taxes, that is favorable, may encourage what? Entrepreneurial practices, because they will not use a lot of money in paying tax. While unfavorable government policies discourages the entrepreneurs' activities. For example, if they increase, the opposite of decreases, when they increase the tax, then that means that it will scare away the entrepreneurs from continuing their business. That is one factor. The next, level of infrastructure. Level of infrastructure and other factors that affect the entrepreneurial skills in the country. And when we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about the basic systems. We're talking about the services that are necessary for efficient operation of the businesses. We have what infrastructure. They may include roads, they may include network, communication network, water system, electricity, and etc. So if these systems that are necessary for a business to take place in a certain area are available, then that means that they will support the entrepreneurial skill. But if they are insufficient in a place, insufficient or inadequate infrastructural activity or services, then it will affect the entrepreneur. In which way? Availability of goods, availability of good infrastructure in an area encourages entrepreneurial skills, while poor infrastructure discourages entrepreneurial skill. Very simple. That's how you explain that. Then the next factor is the level of education and the skills. If there are colleges, there are schools that provide business knowledge and business skills and attitudes to the people, then that means that will support the entrepreneurial skill in the country. If we have got the subjects that are introducing the students, introducing citizens to the basic knowledge in terms of business, so that means that the entrepreneurial skill will be encouraged. And you can look on the screen how to explain it, talking about the relevant knowledge and skills are essential for business success. So knowledge and skills on the business can be acquired through education, can also be acquired through what? It can be acquired through education, can also acquired through training, could be vocational training or short form training, and also experience. Those people who engage themselves in the business. Then an entrepreneur who has appropriate knowledge, skills, is likely to succeed in the business. If you have the skills, if you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you are likely to succeed in the business than the owner without appropriate skills and even knowledge. So knowledge provide effective support towards the entrepreneurs to do their business. Lack of knowledge, they will affect the entrepreneurial skill in the country negatively. That's how you explain that. Then the next, availability of markets. If there is market, the market is enough for the goods that are being produced by the entrepreneur, then that means that the entrepreneurial skill will be supported, it will be affected positively because they will be able to obtain profits and expand their businesses. But if there is no market, that means that the entrepreneur will be discouraged. They will be producing goods, but they will not be selling them anyway. That means that they will be affected negatively. So you see how we are going to this point on two-way form. So availability of markets determines the profitability of the business. Just the same way, or the same thing we have said, availability of market encourages entrepreneurial activities, whereby inavailability of market discourages entrepreneurial activities. Then the next, availability of resources. Resources that we talk about in the business are very many, and in the government, in the business environment, we talked about types of the resources. We talked about the financial resources, human resources, and etc. You understand what resources is, and that's make me maybe ask you a question, maybe to talk about maybe 4 of the resources that are always used in the business. That is what is always there, and you have been taught that. So for example, if these resources are not efficient or they are not enough, then entrepreneurs will not be supported positively. They will be discouraged from their work. But if these resources such as human, finance are there, then the entrepreneurs will do well as per expected in the world of the business. So in the screen you can see that for a business to start and run efficiently, resources are required. These resources may include capital, labor, technology, finances, etc. So availability of adequate resources enable the business produce high quality of goods and services that will encourage more customers. That's what we have talked about. The availability of adequate resources will also therefore encourage the entrepreneurial practices, while lack of inadequate resources discourages the entrepreneurial practices. That's how you go about it. Then the next is culture. The next one is culture. How does culture affect the business? Let's make this be the first part of this class, this lesson video. Then let's move to the next one in the next video. Thank you.